Hi, I'm Larissa and he's Brendan. Sorry about the wind noise in this video. I am still learning to use some of the tech. Anyway, let's go. Good morning and welcome to day one of our shortish Beara Way trek. We're now leaving the Summerhill B&B. We've had a lovely stay there. And we're going to head, it's approximately 13 kilometres to the town of Eyeries. So we're going to be heading up into the mountains across the peninsula, I believe, and hopefully we're looking at about 20 degrees with probable use of sunglasses and a light breeze, or potentially, who knows what's going to happen. We are expecting some rain today, so I understand that the people down here are very much looking forward to it, which is odd, but anyway, I guess they've had a really dry summer, so things have been quite dry and brown. So after a little bit of a false start, we're going to get going. Just had to pair some devices and stuff like that, you know, do the technical things, and I will see you on the trail very soon. We're just climbing up, and we have been for a little while on the road, and you can just see some peaks of Bantry Bay there emerging. We've just been accosted in the most loving way by a lovely cattle dog, not a cattle dog, border collie. And all along here, there are blackberries everywhere. I guess it's blackberry season, and we've determined that I've never eaten one. So maybe before this trip is out, I will try one. But let's see. There are some that are easily viewable. Look. There we go. So they're a weed in our country, in Australia, but I guess not here.
I think they're a weed here too, but...
Are they? Beautiful houses.
Invasive species.
It's lovely. I've cracked open the sunnies. This could be a bad omen. Right here next to this beautiful property, we're getting a lovely view of Bantry Bay. Oh, it's gorgeous. And we continue to climb up the road. Good morning. Now, tip for you, if you're hiking in Ireland, you always say hello to people out here in the country, and you always wave at the cars, because you never know what help you might need from someone. So the drivers all tend to wave at you anyway, but you need to be lovely and wave back and smile, because that's the culture here. And we have been in situations here before where we have done that and we have actually been helped by drivers. So it's important that you're aware of that without trying to get hit by a car. Anyway, let's keep going up this hill. There is rather a steep climb coming up the mountain. You can just see the tip of the hill in the distance. And I'm actually looking forward to that. Is that sick?
No.
Am I sick? Because what goes up must come down. Always remember that. All right. We've just reached the Taggart Stone Circle here on the Beara Way. And interesting, stone circles consist of an uneven number of freestanding spaced stones. So the number of the stones varies between 5 and 17, and they're usually symmetrically arranged, and the diameter ranges between 2.5 to 17 meters in distance. So the stones then reduce in height on either side of the circle, and the axial stone set that is set directly opposite the entrance in the southwest arc, which is usually the lowest stone in the circle. So I'm going to go up there and have a little look. They were constructed as ritual and ceremonial sites during the Bronze Age, and this one is about 3,000 years old. Cool, huh? Let's go have a look. So this particular stone circle is 7.8 meters in diameter. Some of the stones have fallen, so there's only, I think, 12 remaining upright, and they think it probably consisted of 15 stones. So if I walk into it, will something magical happen? I don't know. Here we go. No, but the cows have been in here. They clearly like it. So if I look out this way, just out there in the distance is what looks like the entry to Bantry Bay. That way. And then as I pan around, you can see the bay, and then out this way, the mountains. Wow. Amazing. Wonder what happened here. Maybe I don't want to know. Okay, keep going. As we continue to climb, we can see the headland there in the distance. Coming closer, and a big large property down there. I don't know what that is. Let's look that up. So again, we're following the little yellow walking men, women, whoever, whatever they are. And yeah, there's a tick sign here, which I have to say I'm not too worried about because we treated our clothes with permethrin before we came. So we should be fairly well protected. We've left the road now. We're going to climb up, I believe, through some trees and towards the mountain. The views just continue to grow. We can really see clearly out to the ocean there now. And we'll answer a question that has been asked of me. Why come back to Ireland after such a long and extensive adventure here before? Why do this again? Well, the honest answer is I felt like I had a bit of unfinished business here. Plus I like the country and I like the challenge, and I just felt like I needed more of it here in this country. Plus, there's no snakes.
I was going to say, you fulfilled your predatory or dangerous animal list.
Yes, and no large predators except for bulls really, and humans if you count them, though we haven't had that experience, touch wood. So that answers that question for you, just in case you were wondering. And also because I can. Why not? You want to know why I do this? This is why I do this. Look at this. Incredible. And the thing I love the most is that all the way from the bottom there, I have climbed up here under my own steam. And that feels great. Whilst the bog is still kind of spongy, that's my shoe squeaking, it is cracking, so that is indicative of how dry it is, I guess, up here. And because we are crossing the peninsula today, we are just now getting our very first views of the other side of the peninsula. These beautiful mountains. Oh my goodness. It does not get any better than this. And I have to say that I don't mind there being no sun up here and quite a breeze because it's keeping me cool, because we have been climbing non-stop for the last over 5 kilometers. So, oh my God, wow. Oh wow. Look at this. Oh wow. Look at that. Oh, it makes it all worth it, doesn't it? I don't even think we're at the highest point yet, but to see it sunny on that side of the peninsula and then panning around and a little bit grey on this side is kind of surreal. Wow. Oh, it's good to be alive. Just down there, it looks to me like you can see kind of all the cuts in the land. I wonder if that's where they harvested peat from, because that's sure what it looks like. Look at this. Now it's time to begin the downhill stretch down into the town of Eyeries, which is down there. I have to say that was really lovely that first half. it's almost at the halfway point where we seem to just start heading down. We could see this road as we were along the top of that ridge up there. You could see it descending down into the valley, and we're on the leeward side of the hill, and so we have just had a lovely break, and now we get to go down here. So I will see you down in the town of Eyeries, where we may or may not find a little pub to go to. I know I said I'd see you in Eyeries, but we came down off that lovely road and we did go wrong just a teeny bit on the trail. We picked it up pretty quickly because there's a lot of directional markers that want to send you towards Eyeries Valley or to Achilles Valley. I've said that wrong probably. And there wasn't one taking us across this pasture, this kind of boggy sheep pasture. However, we figured it out really quickly. It's on the map, and once you're here, it's pretty easy to navigate through. Been talking to the sheep and enjoying this sunny view out towards where we're actually walking. So we sort of continue up and down just a little bit here until we actually go into the town. So this time for reals, I will see you in Eyeries in a few K's time. I don't know, I think it's maybe 3 or 4, something like that. All right, let's do this.
Editing Larissa here. It's pronounced Eyeries, not Aries. Sorry, Ireland.
We've reached Eyeries, about 14 kilometres on my watch, and now we're just going to find the pub because we can't check in to our B&B until 4 o'clock. Isn't this delightful? It is absolutely gorgeous. Wow, beautiful. Well done, Eyeries. Okay, we are actually on the home stretch now. We went into the beautiful little town of Eyeries, and of course, neither of the pubs was open. Fair enough. There was a shop and there's a couple of cafes and stuff open. So we did have a little stop, and as you can see, it is glorious. Now we're taking our lives into our own hands by walking to the B&B on the road, because I didn't read the notes in the app properly that recommended that we turn off the trail a little bit early to get to the B&B. But it doesn't matter because we were going to get there too early, and so we went down into the village anyway. So it's fine. It's good. Reflections on the trail today. I think we might share around dinner time because our host is making us dinner, which is great. And we, I think, just need a little rest, got to do some washing, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think then we'll just finalize the reflections for the day, because I've got a few, I have to say. All right, let's keep going down the road. We're well used to this, so I'm not even actually scared anymore. And we're not really in dairy country, so you don't get the big milk tankers as much, I guess. It's more sheep country at the moment. There are a few cows about, but they don't seem to be dairy. So yeah, all right. I'm going to see you very, very soon to wrap up today. But wow, we think this is going to be our view from our home for the night. I'll take it. All right, Fran has welcomed us. Here is a super quick room tour. We've got 2 beds and a beautiful view out here. We can't open the window very far, but it is open a crack, so it's lovely. And then we have our ensuite. It all looks very lovely. And she said there is a window up the top there, which is great. All right, I'm happy. Let's unpack and settle in for the night.
Now the day has ended.
Okay, now go.
Some quick reflections. Trail.
Was
What did you like?
fantastic.
Yep. What did you love about it?
The views as we look back over Bantry Bay, but also the little enclosed section as we walked in towards Eyeries.
My favourite bit was when we were about, not quite halfway, but we were right in the middle of the peninsula and we could see the
Both
water on
ways,
both
yeah.
sides. Like, that was really, really nice. I didn't love the sheep pasture so much, but I have to say the lack of rain here was our friend, because that could have been really boggy and really gross, and it was not. So that was pretty good. And then I have to say we'll talk about that now, logistics.
So the Max app doesn't tell you if you go off trail. It doesn't link up to your phone, to your watch. So they're the two things. You've got to constantly pull your phone out of your pocket. I found there was a lot of, I didn't find. Last time and this time, there's been a lot of modifications to the trail. So there's lots of the yellow markers around, and you're walking and you think you're following the yellow marker, and it turns out instead of on the walking path, you're on the bridleway. So you go a few hundred metres where you shouldn't be. We had to turn around and go back. The accommodation was actually about 2 kilometres before the end of the trail, which is okay, but we got here, around 2 o'clock, and check-in was around 4, so we went down into town and then had to walk back up, so we just need to be careful about that next time.
Well, to be fair, that was annotated in the notes of the app. So logistics wise, so this is a Max Adventure tour, MACS Adventure, and that we've bought and paid for ourselves. And the app that you mentioned, mine kept stopping and starting the tracking on the phone. It was a bit weird, and I'm not sure what that was about. But for the most part, when you would go in and have a look at the map, it was pretty easy to work out where you were and all that kind of stuff. The notes in there were really good. The our experience so far with Max Adventure as a company has been really good. So in terms of prepping us for this trip, that was great. The B&B is a highlight. There are beautiful views, which you can sort of see behind us. We've had the most stunning weather today. Other logistics wise, I was disappointed, as per usual, in some of these really small towns. The pubs, even though Google says they're open, are not. So it would have been nice to actually pop in and have a little beverage and a little sneaky snack, but that wasn't to be. But the town itself had some beautiful, some nice cafes and stuff like that, and it was very, very pretty and a lovely walk. And then the last little part of the walk was up and down over stiles, which I didn't love, but that's just part of it when you're in this rural landscape. But we couldn't have gotten any better weather today, absolutely stunning. And now we are going into the main house to have a delicious dinner and then get to bed, hopefully fairly early.
Won't be late.
No.
Won't be late.
All right, so let's end this episode here. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you on day 2 of the Beara Way tomorrow, and probably tell you just a little bit more about the route as well. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Here's the map and the route, and just quickly, we did work out the tracking on the app. It was a setting issue on my phone.